Hi, my name is Rachel, and I spent the majority of my 20s trying to find the easiest way that I could make money online. Fortunately enough, I stumbled upon appointment setting about 2 years ago and was able to quit my 9 to 5 and have since lived in Bali, traveled whenever I like, and also spent so much more time with loved ones, including little Sevi. We're just having a coffee in the park for probably the last sunny morning. It's 10 a.m. on a Friday. So this is really everything that I dreamed of when I handed in my notice. But let me talk. Oh, sorry. That was mine and Sevi's bad. We're not a very good and stable tag team. It was not easy to get here. So I'm going to go through every myth that I've had to bust on my journey over the last 2 years as an appointment setter, online business owner, and just someone who loves to help people into remote work. First and foremost, there is no such thing as easy money. I'm sure that you have been sucked into plenty a get-rich-quick scheme. So, for example, crypto. I've even fallen victim to a program that was going to teach me how I could resell trainers and make thousands. Needless to say, I did not earn a penny back from that investment. And then when I went into appointment setting, what I really loved about it was that someone in my network had recommended appointment setting to me. And after speaking with her and learning a bit more about what it's like to own your business online, I understood that it was a lot of work. And I was able to take this on alongside my 9 to 5 to begin with. And when I reflect, so that was 2 years ago in April, and when I reflect on that time, it was pretty stressful in the sense that I was doing appointment setting on the sly alongside my office role that I had to be in 3 days a week. So I was waking up early to work for my client. I was replying to messages on my lunch break, and then I was also working in the evening. So when you think about that, I'm doing a bit of the 9 to 5, 5 to 9 trend. And it was quite tough because I would have to be, my time was my biggest asset at that point. So I would have to be quite particular. If my friends were all going for dinner or going for drinks, then if I couldn't deliver for the client, I couldn't go. But that being said, it felt like free money because I'd never had the opportunity to earn like that online before. So when my first paycheck came in, I booked a week's holiday at my 9 to 5 and I went to Dubai and was just working as an appointment setter for that week. Doing 6 hours, and I thought, this is the life for me. And at this point as well, I'd worked out that if I was working 6 hours as an appointment setter, I was actually going to be surpassing my 9 to 5 income. So that was the turning point where I thought, I'm handing in my notice. But it wasn't easy to get there. Like, I was working really long days and it has paid off. It is worth it, but you cannot go into a side hustle. You can't go into learning a skill like remote sales and thinking it's going to be easy money, because it does take graft. And not only that, you're learning a skill. It's like riding a bike. It doesn't come overnight. You need to practice. You need to be willing to learn. No one's got an innate skill to be an appointment setter. No one's got an innate skill to launch a product online and be an e-com brand owner. So that's something to be wary of. It is going to take time to reach your goal if that is to work from anywhere. This leads me really nicely onto my second myth, which is that you can do it alone. Spoiler, you can't. So we all know that there is so much information out there on social media, especially YouTube. Like, obviously, in this case, I'm posting this free value, which I also am very candid with all of the girls in my academy, and I will tell them every single experience that I've had to make them a better setter and almost let them skip ahead of where I was in their position. But that being said, without support, it's so hard to reach your goals. So let me take you back through my journey. I obviously invested in an appointment setting course to learn the skill and have that support when I started out. And I was really fortunate that the agency I worked with, they did have another side of the business where they were working directly with clients. It wasn't a long time before I onboarded my first client, and I do have them to thank for that. That being said, because there was that other side of the business, I felt like when I was reaching out to the people that I had trained with, they always had the client's best interests at heart, which almost took away from the autonomy of owning my own online business, which is something that I would never want to happen to any of the girls in my academy. And that experience was really great for me. I definitely learned the skill, I definitely got the support, and I definitely learned what I appreciate from a coach. From there, I obviously at some point reach full capacity, and that's where I really wanted to step into the coaching side of things, because I had clients that had heard about how much of a great setter I was and wanted to work with me, but I didn't have capacity to work for them. And knowing the freedom that it could give other people, I thought, okay, I feel like I can learn, I can teach this skill from the resources that I have, from the training that I've gone through, from the experiences that I have had. And I feel like I can really help girls in onboarding clients as well. So that's really where my journey as a coach started. And you might be thinking, hey, it sounds like you know what appointment setting is. It sounds like you had a pretty good setup there. But I really knew that I would have to rely on the support and the guidance of a coach to get me to where I wanted to be. And that's when I invested in Megan Lana. So she was an independent female coach, really great at giving me the confidence and the tools of building my own online offer. But that being said, I don't think I did enough research into the sort of community that I wanted to be a part of when I was going on this journey. She was based in the UK and I was completing her coaching and mentorship from Bali. So it almost felt like we were doing an online business venture for different things. And the community that I was part of was more older female entrepreneurs, whereas I was still working from a beach club. Guilty! And since then, I grew my offer, going really well, but I want to take it one step further. And that's when I invested in the Free Thinkers Club by Soul Hide. He may as well be called Sold High because he sold his mentorship to me pretty easily, and I have not regretted it since. I am now part of a community of like-minded entrepreneurs who, a lot of them are doing the whole traveling thing, which I'm obviously really passionate about, but we're all on the same mission to really connect with others, learn from others, and grow. And we're all around the same age, so I've really enjoyed that. But I think having that community aspect and people that you can rely on, whether it is you're investing in your network or you're putting yourself into difficult situations, like reaching out to different people that are on a similar journey as you and asking them questions, it's so valuable. You want to be reaching out to people that are in the place where you want to be and learning from them. So that is myth number 2. As much as you think you can do it alone in your bedroom, you will benefit so much from having support. I can't even tell you. Quick coffee break. So the next one is that working from anywhere is a glamorous lifestyle. I'm not going to lie, I have absolutely loved living in Bali over the last couple of years, but it has come with challenges. For example, visa runs. I had no idea that when I was booking my first one-way flight out there that I would have to go to Malaysia for a night just to get a new visa. But by connecting and having the support of other people, you soon get to know all the ways of a digital nomad. And even though I've experienced 2 of the best Euro summers of my life, I have come to terms with the fact that I am not a girl that likes to live out of a suitcase. I am not a girl that likes to pack up and move around all the time. I will do it for a Euro summer, but it's not how I want to live my life year round. And that's really one of the reasons why I am back in the UK and basing myself here, because I definitely am someone that needs a bit of structure and needs a base. And another thing that comes with this is you're obviously traveling to all these places and making so many new connections, connecting with people, making these new friends. You have to work to maintain your connections and your friendships and your relationships with family at home whilst you're building this new life, whilst you're in a different time zone. And that in itself is super stressful. Like, it's probably one of my biggest stresses. And don't get me wrong, I've brought this on myself and there's no going back. This isn't like, oh, I'm moving back to the UK because this is going to instantly fix everything. Because now I've got this whole second family in Bali that I just want to see all the time, but they're on the other side of the world. So as much as you're probably jealous of like, oh my God, she could live in Bali, I have fucked it for myself when now there's so many people that I love and they're all everywhere in the world. And you also get attached to people when you're doing these ventures where you're working abroad and you're meeting people, and then they could be like, oh, I'm going to go and work from Cape Town for 2 months. And you're like, okay, I don't know when I'll next see you then. And that's the reality of it. So that is a real struggle, and it does make me so sad. Like the amount of tears I've shed every single time I've left Bali. I've been fortunate enough to travel back and forth a fair bit, and no one knows sometimes when I'm coming back. This is going to be the longest I've been away from that island in 2 years, and it does hurt to not be around all of my friends as much, but we're going to get through. And the benefit of this, which is always about seeing the positives, you know, as an entrepreneur, is that wherever I go and whenever I go there, I normally have some sort of connection that is in the same country as me. So like friends in Lisbon, friends in Dubai, friends in Cape Town, friends in Australia. And I think that's one of the biggest blessings, is you are so connected worldwide, and I can always get recommendations from my friends whenever they're whenever they're going on holiday to these places. And I think that's really fun. I would say another point to go on from this is I've obviously just moved back to the UK. And one of the reasons that I've done that is because I'm not going to lie, I'm 27, and the stress of all of my friends settling down and I'm still, I would call myself a Peter Pan, but that's quite boyish, but I'm still just like doing whatever I please. Love it, don't regret it, still probably going to do it. But at the same time, I do want more stability because I do want to settle down at some point too. And I think there is always that fear that you're getting left behind. And I had it when I was living at home with my parents after I'd broken up my boyfriend in my early 20s. And I was like, oh no, people are getting mortgages, people are still in their relationships, and having that fear that I was on a different path. And I think it's taken a while to realise that that is okay, but it definitely is a reality of being a digital nomad and doing your own thing. It is rare because you're breaking away from the traditional route of doing things, and not only by escaping a 9 to 5, but also having that freedom, and it does make you view life differently. So you might be on a different course to other people. And as much as that is amazing and I really value it, I am so glad that I'm on this journey, it does come with stressful moments where I do just think, should I have stayed in my 9 to 5? Would I be in a relationship? Would I have a mortgage? Would I be on my way to having a family? But that's not very me, so I need to stop stressing about that. But I need to just think of where you want to be in 2 years and how you're going to get there, and that's going to make all the difference. So like for now, I am on a mission to grow my academy. I'm putting everything that I can into it work-wise, and then I'll be ready to find someone, hopefully settle down, and hopefully I'll have a bit more of an idea of where I want to live, because now I've completely fucked it for myself because I have no idea where I want to base myself. Love the UK, but I love the sun, and I love lying on a sunbed around a pool, and it can be pretty unpredictable here. I'm literally soaking up the sun on this Friday because it's the last sun we're going to see for a while, I reckon. And finally, this is a really important one that I don't think many people are honest about, but there is no guarantee that you will have control of your time when owning an online business. You've probably seen people that are in the e-com space like Grace Bretherley. Her life revolves around her brands, and I'm sure that she didn't expect that when she was launching gym wear or she was launching her planners. But your life does revolve around your business, and that means that you are catering to different stakeholders. So for example, with appointment setting, you are driving results on behalf of the client. It is a service-based role. That means that you need to work out whether you will thrive from someone saying to you, for example, if they were onboarding me as an appointment setter and them saying, I would really appreciate help on the account in the evenings on a UK time zone. So every evening I would be thinking, okay, from 5 to 9, I really need to dedicate that time to being available for this client. On the other hand, you can onboard clients where they are completely flexible. My client right now, she is an online business mentor and is based in Canada, but she's reaching an international audience. So she is very happy for me to pick up the DMs whenever I feel like it in a day. And it's really about making sure that you have these conversations and are really candid with your client of what you're looking for when you are starting your own online business. And I think when it comes to an e-com brand, just knowing that as much as you want to have control of your time, then unless you onboard different managers and everyone else to help support you, it is all on you and it is a bit 24/7. But that being said, I want to obviously have these honest chats, but caveat it with saying that I would not have it any other way. And I think anyone that is interested in obviously making the leap into remote work, I couldn't recommend it enough because it has completely transformed my life. And if anyone was to ever want to chat about it, I'm always open for a coffee. But yeah, I'd like to say that those are all my myths. That's my experience, and I hope it helps someone on their journey. But for now, me and Sev are going to finish our coffee, keep enjoying the sun. Look at him. And yeah, thank you for watching.